You guys should be able to handle this one. The only difference between this and what I gave you on example B of your warm-up is that it's not in fact form to begin with. Also, as what Emily was asking before, she said, well, how do you graph like fractions? And that's what I'm going to show right now on this one, okay? Can I get a brave soul to begin by telling me the y? Okay, one sec. I'm going to embarrass Nick here right now. Nick, you got to raise your hand once on this question, okay? So pick your favorite time to do it. You can choose when. Okay, but sometime during this question, you got to raise your hand. Can I get a brave soul to tell me how to find the y-intercept, please? Nick, perfect, good. Lovely, okay. Sorry to embarrass you there, Nick. Okay, y-int is set x equals 0. Okay, so this one we're just going to say y equals 2 times 0 squared minus 0 minus 6. Okay, now that looks horribly complicated. Fractions, brackets, exponents, yuck. What is 2 times 0 squared equal to? What's 0 squared equal to?
0.
What's 2 times 0? Great. What's negative times 0? So what's my y-intercept going to be? No, no. I had you guys on autopilot there, okay? So yeah, y is negative 6. Okay, so what point will that be on my graph? What are the coordinates, please? 0 and the negative 6, but yeah, okay, yes. They are totally, they're not the same thing at all. Negative 6, it's snowing outside, positive 6 is raining outside. Okay, so y-intercept, here we go. X-intercepts, I have a new brave soul to do. Go ahead. Very good. Now, I'm going to hit pause on the video. Hold on a sec, please. I'm going to hit pause on the video, and I want you guys to solve this for me. Because I think everyone in the class can do this and try and do this. So we're just going to solve this equation. And again, we did lots of practice yesterday doing this. How can someone remind me how I solved that? What do you have to do? The M and the A thing. Good. So solve it then. Do the M and the A thing and do it.
For
right?
this?
Yeah.
Oh.
So what do you multiply to here? Maybe don't go too fast. Multiply to negative 12 adds negative 1, right?
Okay.
Well, this is like this, right?
Yeah.
So it's negative 12, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to hit pause the video and you guys do it from here. All I want from you guys are like 2 x-intercepts. You can do it. Have confidence in yourselves.
Wait, was it negative?
Can I get a brave soul that hasn't raised their hand today? So please be brave and give me the next after, please. Jessica, go ahead.
First things are negative 4 and 3.
Thank you.
So when it turns into 0 equals 2x squared plus 3.
Wonderful. And again, you could have done the other way too, but I'm with that 2 and 4 would have go together better than 2 and 3. Okay. Can I get a second soul to be brave here? Volunteer. Hannah, go.
So like 0 equals 2x bracket x minus 2.
Yeah.
Times 3 bracket x minus 2.
Wonderful. And again, Hannah's the best factor in the class, so I guarantee that's right. What else visually can you tell looking at that? That's correct. Facts are the same. Jazz, what's you do so far today? Can you give me that step here, please?
0 equals 2x plus 3.
Wonderful. Okay, so this is the x-intercept part, okay? And this is what we're going to graph these weird things here right now. Can I get someone who's brave, please, to tell me how to solve for x now? Luke, go.
The 2x equals negative 3.
Yeah?
Times 0. Equals 0, 2.
Great. Negative 0, 2, yeah.
And then x equals 2.
Okay, now I'm going to be a kind human being. Everything's in fractions. You guys are all masters of fractions. I'm going to go against my word of fractions right now and let you switch to a decimal. The only time in life you can switch to a decimal is when you're graphing. That's the only time you can, okay? If you want to, hold on a second before everyone goes, yes, great, let me get my calculator and, do it, okay? This one here, because it's 3 over 2, it's sort of a nice one. You could probably count every square as a half, and that's what I was saying before. But you can just change to a decimal. In this case only, for graphing, that's the only time. With that said, can somebody tell me what the first x-intercept is going to be, please? Go ahead. Great. So this point is going to be then negative 1.5, comma 0. This point over here then will be 2 and 0. We should hopefully be feeling pretty good about life so far. Karina, you're good? Karina, you're good?
Yeah, sorry.
I know, that's good. That's why I picked on you. Sorry. Okay, sort of good? Noah, how you feeling? Should we have the hockey season over? No, I shouldn't say that. Your dad will not be happy. Okay. Okay. So far so good. X-intercepts and Y-intercept. Can someone please remind me how to get the vertex? Good. So that we'll start with the axis first. Okay. So the axis is going to give us negative 1.5 plus 2 over 2. That ends up being 0.5 over 2, which is 1/4, which is 0.25. So let's just make sure we know how I got that. And I went too quickly because I'm a math teacher. So what I just did was I added the two x-intercepts, right? So where those numbers came from, right? They came from here and here, right? Add them together, divided by 2. That's going to be the middle of them. So it's going to be 0.5 divided by 2, which is 0.25. Okay, please be brave and raise your hand if something's not clear. Emma, how you doing? Second Emma. Good? To get my y value, that's my x value. How do we get the y value? So that's good. So we're going to say to get y, okay, so it's going to be y equals 2 times 0.25 squared minus 0.25 minus 6. Now here's the thing. If you've been someone that's been calmly just writing down what I've done so far, okay, what I'm going to strongly suggest to you right now is get out your little calculator and calculate this out to make sure you can get the same answer. It's one thing if I can get the answer, which I can because I'm a math professional, so I'm able to get the answer no problem, but I need you guys all to be able to calculate this. This is not an easy calculation. Yeah, definitely. So the comment here by Hannah said, should we do the square first? Totally. I'm such a teenager from the 80s, okay? You totally should do that, okay? So 0.25, if I was doing this in my calculator, I'd do 0.25 squared, then times it by 2, and get the number, then do minus 0.25, and then do minus 6. Okay? This is going to be like a messy, horrible decimal. And before you say this is awful, there will be easier ways to do this. We will show you in the next unit. Okay? Because this vertex thing is a mess right now. Okay. Do you have a good calculator?
No.
Calculator? This is probably somebody's. I got a nice calculator.
Well, I'm taking it now.
Yours?
Yeah.
That's okay.
There you have it.
Now, my grade
I have another one too. Anyone else need to work out there?
Grade
Anyone else need to work out there?
Oh, not me.
All good?
8.
Okay, so what's the number?
Negative 6.
What got it right?
Negative 6.1.
Yes. Okay, if you were unable to get that, hold on a sec. Take a second and make sure you can get that. If you can't get that number, I will show you using my handy-dandy calculator. Okay. How do we get that? So what you do is, you do 0.25, and then you square it. Then you do times 2. Then you do minus 0.25, and then minus 6. So you get negative 6.125. Anyone not able to get that and needs clarification on things? We're good? Calculator? Yes, but this is the y value though. Okay, right? So you need, like, the axis symmetry is going to be 6.125, but in order to get the vertex, that's going to this give you what the up and down point is, right? Yeah. Okay. So I didn't write that. So we're going to say then. So my vertex now is going to be 0.25, comma 6.125. All right. So x is going to be 0.25, and that's what we found. The y value is going to be 6.125. Okay, we're going to graph this up here right now. Yes, we have to. Why? Because graphing is cool, and you love it. That's why. You will probably go home and tell your friends, guess what? I graphed a parabola in my house. Yes?
Can you not put like blood yeah. Just takes time.
Okay, yes, but here's the thing, there will be one, at least, there'll be one.
Not like that.
Yes, there will be one.
Why?
Here's the thing, if you don't like graphs, decimals, no problem, it is a fraction. You can call this -6 and 1/8, you can leave it as -6 and 1/8.
Oh, then I think that.
Okay, so here we go, let's graph this up. You know what, Mr. Other teacher said that I thought you guys were very pleasant this year. Let me say that. You know that? You guys are on the whole been a very pleasant class. When I go to Sadler, people say, "Oh, those grade 10s, they complain all the time." And I've never seen it before today. And now all of a sudden I've got how much you guys complain. Okay, so there we go. It's said. Oops. Ah, goodness gracious. This one?
Yeah. Do that all the time.
Yeah, Mr. Lay should do that every day.
Really?
Yes. And then he would never remember how to get back to it. We'd have to tell him.
So what did I press there? Just one more. All right, forget I did that.
Right there.
Sorry, okay, I'm not gonna. That's a picture of my daughter there. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you guys for helping me there, though. Okay, all right. So we got to get down to -6.125. I'm just gonna write the rest of the points here so I can find them. So we did 0, -6, -1.5 and 0, and 2, 0. Okay, so when you're doing your graph, one thing I just want to remind you guys of, especially on your test paper, on your test, you're not going to have a giant graph paper this big. You're probably going to get, you're probably just going to get a little square like this, and that's what your graph, you'll see your graph on. So you have to, plan out your graph that you're doing here. What is the smallest point on this graph? As far, where should my y values be from? From what to what?
0.
0 to what? Yeah, about -8. It says -6.125, so it has to be, you should be looking at the negative part of the graph for sure. As far as the x values, what do the x values go between? Yeah, for me it looks like here the biggest one is 2, the smallest one is -1.5, so make sure they all fit on there. Now, I keep saying this because it happens every year. Somebody will give me a graph that looks like this. Okay, you know what that graph is? That's the whole section. That's a graph that somebody, forgot the vertex should be up their highest, okay? So please plan out your graph. I have all the points listed here, right, so you can just do them, all right? Okay, so let's do this up quickly. I'll give you guys one to try for homework, and I'll be done in class, and then we'll be done, okay? That's not homework. You don't have to get an extra theory that I'm not giving you any homework.
I can't even wear my Is there freaking shoes or curlies?
Okay, girls. Your mother can hear you right now. Okay, so for this here goes. The first point I'm going to do is my the y-intercept. The y-intercept I'm going to do first because it's, thank you. The y-intercept I'm going to do first because it's the easiest. Okay, so 0 and -6 we've done 100 times. It's just going to go x is 0, y is -6 down there. Okay. All right, 1.2 and 0, I'm going to do that one because that one's easy too. Okay, so there's 2 and 0. How am I going to do -1.5 and 0? How would I plot the point -1.5? Halfway between 1 and 2. So the way I set my graph paper, I counted by 2, so I could put it right in between. Okay, but it's got to be in between those 2 points. If you had every square as 1, just sort of estimate and put it in between halfway. All right, now for the tricky one, which is 0.25 and -6.125. How would I do 0.25 for my x values?
Really small.
Quarter.
Yeah, quarter. Very good. Okay, so luckily my graph paper does all this for me because I have super duper graph paper. Okay, but if you don't, okay, right, it's going to be close to 0, right? So it should be, closer to 0 than it is to 1. Okay. Now, it's negative 6.125, not even my graph paper can do this. What's negative 6.125? 6 and it is 1/8, so it's going to be a smidge lower than 6, okay? So it's going to be just, for my graph paper, there's 1/4, so it's going to be right in the middle. So it's very, very close to the y-intercept, all right? But make sure that it is beneath it, because what you know the vertex has to be your lowest point on this, okay? So when I connect the dots, I'm going to hopefully do a good job this time. There we go. And there we go.
Wait, so if you were to make the reflection dot,
Yeah.
that concept, where would it go?
It would be 0.5, comma 6. Okay, because the idea is like it's 0.25 to the left to get to the 0, so it should be 0.25 to the right. Okay, and this is going to be y equals 2x squared negative x minus 6. All right, I'm going to hit pause in the video. I can call it a day. Yes. Sure. Okay, let's stop this here, and if there's any questions and fears, we can go through them.